Hey, what's happening guys? This is Shukesh. Today I have for you a very interesting smartphone from AGM. It's AGM A8, which is a rugged smartphone, IP68 certified, water and dust proof. But what makes it stand out from the crowd is it's shock proof, that is while talking or while using the phone, if you drop the phone on hard surface like concrete, the phone will not crack. The screen won't shatter. In fact, you might not even see a single dent or scratch on the phone. So before I start the review, I want to do a drop test. So let's get started. Well, as you can see guys, the phone is showing the logo. I think it's rebooting because of the shock. The battery might have displaced a little bit. I'm not really sure, but there is no scratch or shatter on the screen. The phone is also intact. I hope that the internals are also okay, so let's wait for a while. Well, the booting has completed and the phone seems just fine. The touch is also working, so before I conclude, I want to do the drop test once again and see what happens. Well, once again, as you can see guys, the phone is restarting. So that's the only issue. The phone is definitely shockproof. So while other devices shatter their glass or dents the bezel, this AGM A8 just restarts. There is not a single dent or scratch on the bezel. You cannot tell the phone was dropped 4 times. Another benefit is that after you use this phone for 1 year or 2, the phone remains almost new, and also there is no tempered glass on the screen, just a simple film which comes pre-installed. So definitely this AGM A8 is a shockproof or drop-proof phone. So if you happen to drop your phone a lot, or if you are just going on a trip, want a rugged smartphone which can withstand all the torture when you are hiking, climbing, so for $160 or 10,000 rupees, it's a great phone you can take on your next trip. In fact, you can get it at just $130. I will talk about that in a minute. Let's quickly do a water test. This phone is IP68 certified, that is, you can keep the phone under water up to 1.2 meter depth and for 1.5 hours. So you can probably take the phone to the pool and capture underwater videos and photos. Because of the water, the capacitive case or the touchscreen might not work, but you can use the volume case for capturing photos and videos. I have wipe cleaned the phone and now the touch response and the capacitive case are working just fine. So it's a really very handy feature. If you accidentally drop the phone into the water or into concrete, the phone will survive. You can capture underwater videos, you can use the phone while it's raining, and as I just mentioned, you can get this phone at just $130, that is 8,300 rupees. There will be a flash sale tomorrow from 6:30 PM to 12:30 AM Indian Standard Time. I will drop the link in the description below, so check that out. Now guys, let's quickly go through some other aspects of the phone. First of all, you have a 5-inch LCD panel with 720p resolution, that is the PPI is 294, which is quite reasonable for a screen size like this, and the screen is bright enough for outdoor usage. It's quite colorful and the viewing angles are not that great since it's an IPS panel, and you can tell from the interface it's running on stock Android UI. The Android version is 7.0 out of the box, so you are getting the latest Android version, and because of that the user interface is blazing fast. I haven't encountered a single lag or hiccup so far. Now the front facing camera on this phone is just 2 megapixels. You have both proximity and ambient sensors. At the bottom you have the navigation case and the primary microphone hole. There you have the power key and the volume rockers. On both sides you have aluminum strips, and this is where you will find the micro USB port. Now if you don't have strong fingernails, then you can use this tool for opening the door. Before taking this phone into your pool, make sure all the doors are tightly sealed. At the top of the phone you also get your 3.5 mm headphone jack. Since my fingernails are quite short, let's try this. There you go. So quite interesting. At the back you have the 13 megapixel rear camera with face detection, autofocus and LED flash. There is also a secondary microphone. The battery is under this hood and it can be opened only with a screwdriver. This phone takes 2 nano SIM cards and a micro SD card which is expandable up to 32 gig. This phone is primarily made of aluminum and soft touch rubber. The phone actually looks quite good. I personally love the design. It feels very solid in hand. It is very rough and tough. I like the design a lot. You can attach a lanyard, and overall I will say the aesthetics, the design of this phone is quite unique. It will attract a lot of people's attention for sure. Though the yellow power and volume rockers are actually not to my liking. Honestly, they could have made them black. But overall the front look and the back look of this phone is very stylish beyond doubt. Now, as it's a rugged smartphone with thick rubber coating, the dimensions of this phone is actually quite big. To give you an idea, there I have the Moto G5 Plus with a 5.5 inch screen. Still, AGM A8 is slightly bigger, but I think you can still put the phone in your pocket. And the thickness of the phone is 16mm, the length is 159mm and the width is 83mm. It's also 251 gram in weight, so it's on the heavier side. Since it's a rugged smartphone, I really don't mind the weight and the dimensions. The Android version is 7.0 as I just mentioned, and the RAM on this phone is 3 gig, which is quite good for the price of this phone. The internal storage is 32 gig. You can also install an external SD card. Out of 3 gig, the average free RAM is 2.1 gig. So for just $130, you are getting an Android Nougat phone with 3 gig RAM and 32 gig storage. Now the CPU is Snapdragon 410 with 1.2 GHz Cortex A53 quad core. The GPU is mediocre Adreno 306, so in the processing power this is not the best phone in its class. You can buy Redmi 3S Prime with Snapdragon 430 processor, but this AGM A8 is a rugged smartphone first. You will not probably play lots of super high-end games. Now the battery you have on this phone is of 4050 mAh lithium polymer, and the battery backup is just outstanding. You can get 2 even 3 days of battery backup, which not a single device in this category can offer. The Antutu benchmark score is 26,801, which you can expect from this hardware. There you have the Geekbench score, so it's a mediocre device, but I've played some super high-end games like Asphalt 8 and the phone actually didn't disappoint me. As you can see, the phone is handling the game quite well. There is almost no visible lag, and I was actually quite surprised to see such great performance from this entry-level phone. The game selects the medium graphics automatically, and in this setting you can definitely play this game on your AGM A8. Now Nova 3 is one of the most graphics intensive games on the Play Store. Let's dare to play this game on this phone as well. As expected, the game is lagging. So AGM A8 can handle most of the medium graphics and some of the high-end games in medium graphics. For the price and the category of this phone, I should not actually complain. The game is actually still playable if you have the patience. The other games here, that is Day Trigger 2, Subway Surfers, Temple Run 2 and Pokemon Go, are easily playable on this AGM A8. There is no lag, the touch response is quite well, and the loudspeaker on this phone is actually quite loud, both for indoor and also outdoor, I think. Next, let's quickly talk about the camera. You have 13 megapixel shooter at the back and the autofocus speed is actually quite fast. The sharpness and the color rendering of the images are actually not that bad. You have lots of settings and you can also apply different effects. The video recording capability is up to 1080p. The front facing camera is just 2 megapixels with 720p recording, which is quite disappointing.
Hey, what's happening guys, this is Shukesh and you are watching a video sample from the AGM A8. It's recording in Full HD.
Guys, we are almost at the end of this review, and overall for just 8 or 10,000 rupees, I think it's a great phone to buy, especially if you are looking for a shockproof and waterproof phone. Of course, you can buy other smartphones at this price point with better hardware, but this AGM A8 is a unique smartphone. It looks great, it is waterproof, shockproof, dustproof, and the battery backup is awesome. The speaker is also great. It also supports NFC, FM radio, OTG, that is, you can attach your pen drive, hard drive, your mouse, keyboards, etc. And there are also compass and gyro sensors for proper navigation and gaming. So it's a complete package. If you are going on a long trip, then this phone might be a great choice. That's all in this review guys. Thanks a lot for watching. If you have found this video very interesting and helpful, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and keep in touch. This is Shukesh signing off. Have a nice day.